The important thing, though, for every participant to remember is that whilst they can do the modules at any pace or any way they wish, they must complete them all by the 15th of November 2024. This is an eligibility criteria of the programme, so if the training isn't completed by that date, a participant risks being removed from the programme and having any monies paid to date be recouped from them.
Hello and welcome to the Beef Edge, the Teagasc Beef Podcast, for all your latest news, information and advice for Irish beef farmers. I'm Catherine Egan, and with the launch of the Suckler Carbon Efficiency Programme course earlier this week, I'm joined by Margaret Brennan, Assistant Principal Officer over the beef schemes with the Department of Agriculture, Food and the Marine. Margaret, you're very welcome. What are the key areas in SCEP that farmers should comply with in 2024?
Yes, so there's 4 key eligibility requirements that farmers in SCEP must comply with to remain in the programme. So the first one of those is they must submit a valid BIS application each year. They must calve down a minimum of 50% of the yearly reference number. They must also have continued participation in SPLOS for the duration of the SCEP programme. And finally, number 4, they must complete the SCEP online training course by the 15th of November 2024.
And the key thing there for the BIS application, the deadline for applying for that scheme is the 15th of May.
That's correct, yes. To maximise then the payment under the programme each year, farmers should comply with the 5 actions under the programme as they would have done in 2023.
And as part of the SCEP course, it's mandatory to complete this training you mentioned there before the 15th of November. Will a participant have to attend a training course like in BDGP, or is it online, or how can a participant complete the SCEP training?
Yes, Catherine. So as you said, the training is mandatory and must be completed by the 15th of November 24. So it's online and it's accessible via www.sceptraining.ie. So having it online provides a lot more flexibility to farmers in accessing it when it suits them at a time and date that suits them. They don't have to do it all in one go. They can pick up and take off, pick it up and leave it off where they want and resume again at a future date. And it just gives them great flexibility for them to work around their farming life.
And you mentioned the website there. So once farmers go into that website, how do they access the course online?
Yes. Okay. So yes, this course is available at sceptraining.ie. So a letter has issued to all SCEP participants on their Agfood account. And that letter will also issue to them in the post over the next week or so. This provides them with a PIN number and provides them with instructions on how to access the training. So when a farmer goes into www.sceptraining.ie for the first time, they'll see a green button that asks them to activate their account. So they'll use their herd number and their PIN supplied in the letter provided to them. When they click on the activate account button, they'll put in the herd number and put in the PIN number, and then they'll be brought onto another page that will ask them to set a password. So that password will be a password of their own choosing. It should be between 6 and 12 characters, and they should retain it in a safe place because that password is the one that they'll use then to log into the training from then on. So to help with all this, we've also provided a guidance document, and that's on the SCEP page on the department's website. And that covers some frequently asked questions. It gives some screenshots of how to access the training, how to activate the account, and how you progress through the modules, etc. There's also some support contact details up there as well, both on the sceptraining.ie webpage and on the department's webpage on SCEP, with some contact email addresses and telephone numbers to contact them if they need any help with accessing the online training.
And you mentioned there that the farmers will start getting a letter in the coming week. How soon after they get the letter can they start to complete this training?
Well, any participant who logs into their Agfood account can actually start the training straight away. The letters were uploaded yesterday on the launch of the scheme on the 29th of April. So the details are there immediately. So anyone who has that can go in, and a number of farmers have already logged in and are looking at the training and progressing through it as we speak. And then those who want to wait for the letter to receive it in the post, as soon as they have it, they can log in straight away.
That's great, Margaret. And what areas is the training course aimed at covering?
So the course is focused on the SCEP actions that farmers must undertake as part of their SCEP programme. So the breeding strategies, genotyping, the weighing and the calving surveys. And there's also a module in there on farm safety and livestock handling. So the course really is intuitive, it's interactive, it's laid out in a very user-friendly format. It makes it very easy to navigate through, and it'll be very clear to a participant as they progress through it what modules they have completed, what modules they've partially completed and have yet to finish, and what modules they have yet to start. So it includes some interesting demonstration videos as well on the programme's actions, which will be of a lot of interest and relevance to SCEP participants and how to actually interactively undertake the actions of the programme. And the module on farm safety also has a number of useful demonstration videos to help reduce the risk of accidents on the farm.
And how many modules are there in total that farmers have to complete, Margaret?
So there's an introductory video, Catherine, and then 7 modules that they have to complete in order to comply fully with the training requirement.
And how long will it take to complete each of the 7 modules?
So the modules will each, on average, take about 30 minutes to complete, some being slightly longer, but most being slightly shorter even than that. But you have the option then to partially complete a module. So if you have a 15-minute window and you want to do part of a module, you can log in, do the module, 15 minutes on it, and log out. And when you log in again, it'll pick up where you left off the last time. So it allows a lot of flexibility in managing time and how you'll actually complete the modules.
That's great. So all of the 7 modules, they don't have to be completed at the one time?
No. So whilst they all have to be completed, all 7 have to be completed before the 15th of November 2024, they don't all have to be done at one time. So within the modules, module 1 has to be completed first. So when somebody logs in first, they'll be prompted to say, you must start with module 1. When that's completed, then they'll see that they're able to access module 2. And then after that, they can do the other 5 modules in whatever order they choose to do so. So as I said earlier, you can also leave a module without finishing it and pick up where you left off when you logged in next. So that means farmers have the flexibility to finish the training all in one day or spread it out to complete when it suits them. And once you log into the online training at www.sceptraining.ie, the front screen will actually display the progress of each of the modules. So you'll see a little indicator to tell you that you haven't started the module, that it's in progress, or you've completed it. And then when you have all 7 modules completed, participants will have the option to download a certificate of completion for their own records. They can retain that. They don't need to provide it to us, but it's just a little bit of an underscore to say completed in full. The important thing, though, for every participant to remember is that whilst they can do the modules at any pace or any way they wish, they must complete them all by the 15th of November 2024. This is an eligibility criteria of the programme, so if the training isn't completed by that date, a participant risks being removed from the programme and having any monies paid to date be recouped from them.
So it really is compulsory that this part of the training course has to be done to comply with the SCEP programme?
Yes, it's one of the eligibility criteria, Catherine. So yes, it must be. In the same way that they must do a valid BIS application by the 15th of May 2024 for this year, that they must be a continuing member of SPLOT, and that also they must have down at least a minimum of 50% of the yearly reference number this year.
And if a participant is having any difficulty accessing the course, is there any help available?
Yes, absolutely. There's a support email and phone number for anyone encountering any access issues or technical issues, or they just need a little bit of help in getting started. And bear in mind as well that participants can, get the assistance of family members because it's at home or in a place that they're choosing. If they are having technical difficulties getting in, and there's a family member, a friend or neighbour who can assist them with that, that's available obviously there too. But the details of the support line for the SCEP training, they're included in the letter sent out to all participants. They're also included on the support training page at sceptraining.ie and also on the department's website page on SCEP. So we've included that helpful screen guide as well on the SCEP page of the DAFN website, covering the frequently asked questions and maybe a little bit of help if somebody's stuck. It may be able to direct them as to how to get around a particular issue. But at any time, they can contact the details, the support, or the help desk here itself in the department if they're having any difficulties and need any further assistance.
That's great, Margaret. So you will be recommending, once the participant has the 7 modules complete, to download the certificate of completion and then retain that for their own records?
Yeah, they can retain the certificate of completion for their own records, but we'll be verifying and validating the completion. They don't need to contact us to let us know they've completed. We'll be able to validate and confirm that through the online platform. But people might like, after completing the programme, to retain it, and it's confirmation for themselves that they're fully compliant with the requirement.
That's great, Margaret. So any participant that's participating in the SCEP programme has to complete this training you mentioned there before the 15th of November.
Yes.
Thanks very much, Margaret.
It's great, Catherine. Thank you.
That's all for this week's episode, and my thanks to Margaret for joining me on the show. Peter Byrne from Castledermot, County Kildare, will host a Dairy Beef 500 walk on his farm next Tuesday, the 7th of May at 6 p.m. More information is available on the Teagasc website and in the podcast text. You can catch up on all other shows and interviews from the Beef Edge podcast on the Teagasc website at teagasc.ie, or you can listen on Apple and Google Podcasts as well as Spotify. Don't forget to rate, review and subscribe so you never miss a show. For all other updates from our beef programme, keep an eye on our Twitter and Facebook pages. Until next time, I'm Catherine Egan, and thanks for listening.